tuna make sure wale vijana wamekuwa onboarded into database, ndio tujue ni vijana gani ama interest zao ni gani na malengo yao ni gani ama ni vitu gani wao kama vijana wanataka kufanya. So mimi si mwingi wa maneno bali mwingi wa vitendo. So karibu sana waziri na asanteni sana vijana.
Thank you very much. That was the chair of the Youth Advisory Group. Amesema actions speak louder than words. So I would like to invite the host of Swahili Potter Foundation, and that is founder and chief mentor of the hub, Mahmoud Noor, to please officially open today's session and welcome the Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury and Economic Planning to give his remarks.
Asante Rukia. Nafikiri leo ni siku ya vijana. Bwana CS, karibu sana, ndio mgeni wetu wa heshima. Najua pia umemwalika najua pia umemwalika Governor wa Mombasa ambaye yuko njiani yoaja kutoka Nairobi. Lakini kabla ya hapo nilikuwa nataka nimpatie dakika moja the Deputy County Commissioner ili atujulishe wenzake ambao wako hapa, alafu ndio tuende kwa dialogue ya vijana. Ni kuintroduce alafu tuende kwa dialogue. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahmoud. I take this opportunity to welcome our CS for National Treasury with this dialogue for the youth. I think it is important, and they say this is the first time they had the minister is coming to listen or to have a dialogue with them. You are most welcome, CS. Before I niambie watu wangu wa muke, I have my OSPD here, who is my security team, Mr. Maxwell Agoro. My other team, the security team of the sub-county, they engage elsewhere. We had several meetings. I also have my chiefs and assistant chiefs. My ACC also is attending a burial of a relative in Central. I have also an assistant county commissioner from the county commissioner's office, Mr. Madoka. So thank you very much, sir, and you're welcome. Asante.
So Bwana Waziri, mimi ujumbe wangu ni moja peke yake kwa sababu nilikuwa nataka uwe na dialogue na vijana. So sitataka kuzungumza sana. Huwa naongea na wao sana, wamenizoea. Lakini ukiangalia vijana wengi wanajipatia ajira kwa kupitia hizi tarakilishi, either simu ama laptop. Kama ile Jitume Lab ambayo imeanzishwa na serikali kuu inapatia fursa vijana wengi sana kuwa wanatafuta kazi kule nje. In fact wanalipwa dola wakiwa hapa. Lakini baada ya wao kutumia hapa, huwa tunataka wakianza kupata zile ajira wanunue laptop ama watumie simu yao waende wafanye hiyo kazi nyumbani. Lakini kama kuna changamoto kubwa sana, nikiwa tunaweza kufanya laptops na simu ziwe affordable. Na njia moja ni kupunguza ushuru yake. Kwa sababu ikiwa tunataka vijana wafanye kazi, na najua rais amekuwa anasukuma sana hizo kubonyeza upate ushuru, yani bonyeza upate dola, sio? Lakini ikiwa unataka kufanya hizi kazi na kuna kiwango kubwa ambayo inaenda kwa ushuru, inakuwa ni vigumu sana. Sasa tutanyenyekea ikiwa we can make our young people be able to afford laptops, be able to afford phones, and I'm sure when they know they can make money, they will make good use of it. So sitachukua mambo mengi, nitamalizia hapa because pia mimi nakuja kusikiza vijana wanasema nini. Hii ni siku yenu, sio siku yetu sisi. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Chief Mentor. And now, the most awaited time, we would like to welcome, can we all rise as we welcome the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning, Honorable John Mbadi, to address the team.
Kaini tu, ketini. Aya. Mombasa hoye. Vijana hoye. Asanteni sana. I will try to use two languages, but heavily on English. nitachanganya kidogo na Kiswahili, but I will largely speak in English. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank you, the young people who are here today, and all Kenyans who have graced this occasion. This very important engagement that I planned deliberately to meet, engage with the youth and discuss and talk, more specifically, issues of budget process, but broadly, issues of governance and government in general. Something happened last year. The youth uprising. The Gen Z quest to repossess their nation and take back decision making. Everything which looks dark has a silver lining. I am a beneficiary of that youth agitation. And I'm very conscious that I'm a beneficiary of that youth agitation. And therefore, my survival or continued stay in office is heavily dependent on how I manage that youth agitation. If you can't learn, then you are destined for failure. What happened last year was a learning point for anyone who assumed a public office thereafter. And therefore, my presence here today is out of that learning. Nilianza in Nairobi juzi kukutana na wananchi kupitia kwa bunge la wananchi. Nilienda Jivanji Garden na nikakutana na Wakenya wengi. Na nikaahidi ya kwamba hiyo haitakuwa la mwisho. Tutaendelea na hiyo engagement, na nilisema hapo siku hiyo nilianza kusema nitaenda Mombasa. Baada ya kuja Mombasa nitaenda Garissa, pia nitaenda Kisumu, na pengine nitamalizia na Eldoret. That is representative sample of where I want to visit. So today, I am here in Mombasa. Let me just share something with you, my friends. When I made the decision to go to Jivanji Garden, even my team at the National Treasury thought I was crazy. Because we are used to the normal, traditional ways of engagement, where we sit in our high-end offices, 14th floor, and we pretend to be knowing everything that Kenyans want, and we make decisions on the 14th floor of Treasury building. When I got to the National Treasury, I made a promise that I will have to change things, that I must move to the people. I want to listen one-on-one to the people. I want to hear you. I want you to ask questions, even the most difficult, even the most inconveniencing. Just ask. Hata kama ni shy, don't shy away from asking. Hata nikishindwa kujibu, nikishindwa leo, nitatafuta majibu, nikienda Garissa nitaweza kujibu. So let us engage. In fact, I came here for engagement. That is why I have not prepared a written speech. I want this engagement to be natural. I want us to speak from our hearts. I want us to understand each other. If there is anything that you don't understand, please ask. And so let me just say a couple of things. It is important first to understand what informs the budget. We all know that the budget process starts around September every year. That is the time when you come up with what we call Budget Review Outlook paper. Budget Review Outlook paper simply speaks to what happened, because you are not starting from zero. A country is running, is on the move. It started running kitambo hata before independence. So you ask yourself, last year, the people of Kenya gave us a budget. Hiyo budget tulitumia namna gani? Pesa ilitumika wapi? Na tumetekeleza nini? So that is the Budget Review and Outlook paper. Looks at the previous budget, where you are, what happened, their projections you made, did you realize them? If you did not realize them, what are the reasons? And how are you going to do things differently going forward to make sure that the challenges you faced with the previous budget are mitigated? So that is the starting point for budget. And then you project where the economy is going. Now you move forward to where we call the budget, to what we call the budget policy statement, which we released juicy, which simply spells out the government agenda. But let me put it this way as well. All budget process is anchored on a manifesto. All budget process is anchored on what we call the policy direction. It's anchored on a vision. So what is the vision of our country? Vision 2030 is the vision we still work on, which spelled out that we want Kenya to be a middle-income economy, not a lower middle income, but upper middle-income economy by 2030. So hiyo ndiyo vision yetu. So from that vision, now you come up with policies, which includes the government's manifesto, because every government must have been formed. We are a multi-party democracy, must have been formed through campaigns. So a political party comes into office. It will be a bit confusing today, because which is this ruling party now? Is it still UDA? Is it Kenya Kwanza? If it is UDA and Kenya Kwanza, you'd ask yourself, what is Mbadi doing? And I'm the one driving now the economic agenda of the country. I've never been a member of UDA, I've never been a member of Kenya Kwanza. I am ODM, and ODM by blood. I am just not official of ODM, but I'm a member of ODM. I believe in ODM, and I believe in ODM manifesto. Now, the point is that now we have reached a point where Kenya Kwanza and ODM have reached the meeting of mind. Now you can call it broad-based, not bread-based, but broad-based. So, but the agenda of the government is bottom-up. Bottom-up has pillars: agricultural pillar, job creation, housing, health or universal health coverage. Then we also have what we call the digital superhighway, an inclusive economy. No, we must do our budgets in line with those pillars. Because if you just put figures, you just throw figures, amounts, money, left, right, and center, you cannot realize economic growth that is sustainable. Because economic growth must be anchored on something. There must be a foundation. And for this matter, the foundation must be the government agenda. It must be these pillars that I've just mentioned. So let me give you the positive side of things before I give you the sad reality. The positive of things, despite the challenges, including last year, remember we had a COVID challenge. Is that correct? As we were coming out of the COVID era, then Gen Zs felt that they were losing their country. And Gen Zs came out in large numbers. That has never been seen before. In fact, in our place, I usually use mother tongue. when I described Gen Z, that Gen Z came like Nyawawa. Nyawawa, for those who don't understand, and hii si matusi, you know, sometimes when you translate vernacular to another language, it might sound very differently. Nyawawa ni kama upepo. Yani hii Gen Z, who can describe it really? How it came about. Ni kama upepo, ikakuja, no one could control it, just like we cannot control upepo. Then it calmed itself, just like upepo would do. But again, just like upepo, usipochunga, itarudi. Sindio? So now, I wanted just to tell you that our economy has been still very resilient. Very resilient. The world economy is growing at 3.2%. That is 2024. Sub-Saharan Africa, that is if you exclude the north, then the rest of Africa's economy grew at 3.8%. Kenyan economy grew at 4.6%. So that is still good. But for our economy to create employment and job opportunities that we desire, we need a 7% growth. So even though it is 4.6%, it is still not good enough. But it is not terrible. 2023, our economy grew at 5.3%. Now it has grown at only 4.6%. The first quarter of the year, it grew only at 5%. Second quarter, 4.6%. Third quarter was even worse at 4%. The fourth quarter, there was a rebound. We are projecting 4.7, 4.8. So generally, 4.6. That is good news, not bad news. The other good news is our inflation is managed. It is at 3.5%. Sometimes I hear people say that you are talking of inflation down. Is that really true? The question I would ask you, have you taken time to compare the cost of food items, just basic one, in February this year and February last year? Because we have the statistics. I have them here. If you want, I will share with you later. The figures are here. But have you compared with 2022? So at least inflation has been managed because of investment in agriculture and a favorable weather. Because our inflation is largely driven by food items, fuel, and energy. Even if you check the prices of fuel 2022 and now, there is a reduction. The cost of electricity has also come down slightly, not so much, but slightly. Our reserves are good, so we are not scared that we cannot pay our foreign debts because we have enough reserves to cover 4.7 months of import. That is generally very good. We had we have been having only 2 months cover. Now we have 4.7, which is $9 billion in reserves. Something positive again is that the interest rates, the government of Kenya has been borrowing money from you people through banks and other financial institutions, pension funds, giving government money, Beja banks, KCB, Cooperative Bank, Equity, DTB, have been giving the government of Kenya more money than they are giving the individual Kenyans, the private citizens. And they have been giving us money at very high interest rates. Up to August last year, if you were buying 91-day Treasury bill offered by government, you would get interest of 16%. Thursday last week, I did not check yesterday, but I think the change is not much. Thursday last week, in so many years, only witnessed during Kibaki time, the interest rate on 91-day Treasury bill was at 8.9%. I know many people may not understand what that means, but I will explain it to you just in a layman's language, because not all of you are figures people. And by the way, before I explain to you, can I ask you a question, but don't answer me? Why am I the CS for National Treasury? Am I the greatest economic mind in this country? You have answered me, although I say don't answer, because I knew the answer, obviously, and so I didn't want to feel very small, because I knew you were going to say no. And that is the correct answer. I'm not. Am I the greatest financial mind in this country? Am I the greatest accountant in this country? No. I may be among, but they are greater minds. There is a reason why I'm here. And the most important reason is that God wanted me to be here. So whatever I do, I should do in the glory of God, to serve Him, and I can only serve God by serving you people. So that is why I want to do my best. So let us start with the interest that I've just talked about. What is the value of that? 2, number 1, just do this simple math with me. Our domestic debt, okay, our total domestic debt is 5, that is mind-boggling, 5.83 trillion. Nani anaweza hesabu trillion hapa? Ukipewa trillion kuhesabu utasahau, uanze tena, usahau mpaka ukufe kabla hujamaliza ku. So trillion ni pesa nyingi sana. 5.83 trillion. That is what? Domestic debt. Out of that, 15% is what we call treasury bills. Treasury bills are those government papers which are not more than 1 year. Yani, ukikopesha serikali pesa, unalipiwa 3 months, 6 months, 12 months maximum. Those are what we call treasury bills. So those who own treasury bills in this country, the total amount is 900 billion shillings. So let's take that 900 billion shillings. If we were borrowing 900 billion shillings at the rate of August last year, interest, you will be paying serikali 140, the government would be paying you, paying all pension funds and banks and what have you, the government would be paying them 144 billion per year. If you borrow at the current rate, meaning if we retain this rate, if we manage our economy in a way that the government can only borrow at 8.9 or to 9%, if the government can borrow at 9%, the way it is today, even for a whole year, we will be paying only 81 billion shillings as interest. So 144 minus 81, we are saving 63 billion shillings. 63 billion shillings is enough to take care of all the support that we are getting from USAID. Ile pesa America ilikuwa inatupea yote kwa mwaka mzima, 52 billion, we have 63 billion to take care of that, and even with change. Iyo 63 billion can help us support CDF projects, because I know that is what, for the whole country, CDF is only 54. 63 can pay CDF of the 290 constituency for the whole year, and you still remain with 9 billion. 63 billion we can save by reducing interest rates from 16, where it was in August, when I took over office, to today. If we take it to the current rate for a whole year, the money we will save out of that can pay term 1 capitation for both basic or primary school, JSS, and high school, which is only 48.8 billion. Are we together? What I'm saying is we must manage our economy better so that we can realize some of these benefits. The second value or the second advantage of coming down of interest rates is that interest rates by banks will also follow. You have seen recently Equity Bank reduce interest rate by 3%, Kenya Commercial Bank by 2%, some banks, Cooperative Bank 2%, some 1%, but if it is consistent, then they will lower interest rate. And when the interest rates are low, then someone with a kiosk can go to the bank and take loan and be able to pay, especially if government is also paying pending bills. Sawa sawa? So that is the positive side. Let me now come to the negative. Let me now paint to you the real picture. You know, when I talk about these nice things, you think things are rosy, and then you ask yourself, but how come I don't feel it? You see, that is the question you'll ask me. How come I don't feel it? Why you don't feel it is because of the following. Number one, my fellow countrymen, our debt level has reached a point it was almost slipping to unsustainability. We have reached a point, and let me just explain this to you, that we are struggling to pay our debts. And it is a catch-22 situation. We are between a rock and a hard place. For us to clear our bills, we should be taxing you more. But we can't tax you more. So what do? We have to struggle to pay these debts. Attempt Don't ask me what was done with that loan, because It is mind-boggling. I may not even do that audit and finish in the rest of my term. But this is what scared me. The repayment, the maturity. These loans were taken around the same time. Now it is like a flood coming. It's like, what do we call this? This flash flood. Not Nyawawa. It's like flash flood. So this is what I found. I found this. Remember last year the shilling almost lost its footing, isn't it? The shilling exchanged at 160 to the dollar. Many people don't know why. The reason is this. There is a loan that the government of Kenya took, a Eurobond of $2 billion. That is over 260 billion shillings. That bond was coming for payment in June last year. And by February, the government of Kenya had no plan on how to pay it. So everybody, the whole world, saw that Kenya was going to default. And therefore, it put pressure on our shilling. If the government did not act to take another Eurobond to stop that one, I would tell you the shilling would be today 5. In fact, we would be carrying shillings in Wagunia, ukienda kushop. You know, some of these things happened in Zimbabwe, Uganda, and we think it is far-fetched. It is not. You just make a small mistake, and it happens. Now, this is what I found. That one I found had been sorted out. But there is another Eurobond of 900 million coming up for payment or repayment on 22nd of May, 2027. 2027. Another one is coming up for payment of $1 billion in February 2028. Another one of 1.5 billion US dollars, and I'm talking about US dollars, 1.5 billion US dollars is coming up for payment 2031. Another one of 1.2 billion US dollars is coming for payment 2032. Another one of 1 billion is coming up for payment in 2034. So 2028, there is 2027, Eurobond coming up for payment. 2028, another one. 2031, only 2029 and 2030, tunapumzika. 2031, another one. 2032, another one. Tunapumzika 2033. 2034, another one. Then unapumzika from 2034 mpaka 2048. Hello? Are you together with me? You are not. Bas, nyamaza, that is not the end of the story. This year, hiyo nimemaliza na Eurobond. Nimerudi kwa this year. Maneno ingine, syndicated loan. TDB. And this is a loan, 13% interest. At afadhali Eurobond ni 7, 8, 9%. 10 maximum. Hii ingine 12, 13. And this is the story. In September, we have 200 million US dollars to pay. 200 million. You can convert into shillings. About 26 billion. The same September, there is 75 million, but not dollars, euros to pay. Then the following month, October, there is another one of 646 million dollars to pay. If you add those three, September and October, this year, what we must pay, you can't roll it over. You unalipa. $952 million. That's about almost 130 billion shillings. Hii mwaka hii, September and October. And this syndicated loan goes up to 2030. The ones we should be paying. So what am I saying? I am saying Kenya's economy needs patience. And Kenyan economy, we need to fix it. We cannot suspend facing this economy any further. We must do it now. And doing it now is we must revamp our economy. It must grow at a higher rate. But in the process, the problem is this. You know, you are getting taxes from people to pay loan. These people you are taking money from to pay loan are not seeing the services. How will they give you their taxes? So that is the problem we have. That is why I've come to you, that the resources are constrained. But how effectively can we use the little that we have in a way that would impact in your lives so that you can help me continue retiring these loans until we reach a point when Kenya will be in a position of serious takeoff economically. Otherwise, if we just complain and continue complaining, who will solve these problems for us? If I was to run away, I would have run away. I would have said, no, no, no. There was nothing forcing me to take this job. If anything, I was not even in Kenya Kwanza. I was not even a member of UDA. I was this other side. But I've asked myself, have these problems been created yesterday? No. These are problems that have been piling from around 2014, piling up to today. Someone must fix it. And God has seen it fit that it is John Mbadi to help the people of Kenya working together with you to fix this problem. So I came so that first I want to listen to you. But after listening to you, my proposal will be this. We have various groups of youths here and Kenyans. We have Bunge la Wananchi. We have Bunge Watch. We have the youth led by university students. After this discussion and going forward, so that we don't have again a serious contention around the finance bill. And by the way, let me just talk about this finance bill. Finance bill does not have to increase taxes. It can also lower taxes. I can hear you saying lower. I have started. You know, you people, sometimes you make me laugh. Do you know that the amendments, there are some amendments that we brought to Parliament in December? Are you aware? We brought amendments back to Parliament where if you are employed today, the day you are going home, you take your pension without paying any tax. That is number one. Number two, even if you are on temporary job, you will be getting your gratuity without paying tax. Number three, we were taxing you on this share contribution double. We were taxing you on housing levy double. Why are you saying, hey, and that is the truth? Now, with the amendments we brought in December, we are not taxing you double. So, for example, if you're earning 100,000 and you are paying tax, levy, housing levy, 1.5%, which is 1,500, you are paying SHA 2,750 if you're earning 100,000. That is a total of 4,250. That same amount which has been deducted from you was again being taxed, and that tax of about 30% you are removing from your remaining amount. So you are paying SHA, you are paying housing levy, and then you are paying again tax on the same. 30% of 4,250 is 1,000, almost 300. Is that not correct? So we have removed that. And we will continue to see how best to manage the tax regime so that we don't put too much pressure on you people. We enhanced, if you are now contributing to a pension scheme, 20,000 used to be tax allowable. Now it is 30,000. Mortgage contribution, we have enhanced allowable amount. It saves you tax if you take mortgage. Those are salaried Kenyans. But there are the majority, 80% of Kenyans are not employed. Only 20 are employed. Now, I was suggesting this, that when we will publish finance bill, there are two things I'm going to do. Number one, before the finance bill is published, we will again publish in the newspapers the proposed finance bill and put explainer like we did in December. For each suggested amendment, if there will be, we will be explaining what it means. And then I will have, because every county has bunge la wananchi, we will have a conversation, all the counties, discuss finance bill. Then we invite people from all the 47 counties to come and have a sitting with me and tell me, in Mombasa, we have rejected this and this and this. So that when we take to parliament, we take what Kenyans have agreed on. I don't want a situation where after we have taken the bill to parliament, then the whole country is up in arms that they were not consulted. If now you don't take advantage of those consultation window, then you will not blame John Mbadi. But I want to guarantee you that our tax policy is that we keep tax regime stable, predictable. We don't want to adjust taxes anyhow. We are going to be more keen on ensuring that we improve on tax administration. We make sure that Kenya Revenue Authority is collecting taxes with efficiency and bring more people to the tax bracket as opposed to overtaxing those who are already paying taxes. I want to stop there because I wanted this to be an engagement. Now I want you to ask me all those questions that you have been disturbing you on matters economy, and then I'll come back here and respond to your question. Thank you very much. Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much. I think he deserves a bigger round of applause for taking us through exactly what it means to plan for the government budget and also basically just enlightening us on the country's debt. And it is very important for us to understand how our taxes are allocated and at the same time how we're able to all contribute to this. As Waziri has said, today is a dialogue. Over 80% of the people in the room are the young people. Si tulikuwa maandamano? Sasa badala kuenda maandamano, it is important to actually, instead of trying to amend a mistake later on, it is important to work on the prevention and to understand our role as citizens. This is the chance that we have to understand what exactly our role as citizens of the country is, to contribute and to actually make sure we are coming out of the current problem of taxation and the country debt that we're in right now. So I'm going to have my colleagues, Rajab and Wilson. Do I have Rajab and Wilson around?
Yes.
Do you all have mics?
Yes.
Do we have extra mics, the sound team? Rajab, Wilson, and Chicha. Please take the other mic. How many more mics do we have? As we wait for the mics to be allocated and strategically place people around, can we have a very clear pathway, because we are expecting the governor of Mombasa County anytime soon, so it is very important to have him have a clear path as he gets here, instead of disrupting the discussion. Rajab and your team, please make sure we have people strategically placed at every corner to ensure everyone has equal participation to this discussion today. I know it is already 4 p.m. To my Muslim brothers and sisters who would like to take a break to take your Asri prayers, we're going to break for prayers about 4:45 p.m. So please bear with us, and then we're all going to break for prayers before we come back and have the governor address us. As we have the sound team take care of the mics, I would like to remind everyone on today's agenda. Rajab and Tim, we can start with the two mics that are around here. Everyone, thank you very much. Let's get back to the discussion this evening.
Okay, this is how we're going to do it. You're going to raise your hand. I'm going to follow you where you are in an orderly manner. Tafadhali, kwa utaratibu tu, ukiinua mkono wako nitakuona. Sote ambao tuko na mics tutawafuata na mtaweza kuuliza maswali yenu. Kwanza, pili, ukipewa nafasi swali ni moja tu ili mwenzako pia apate nafasi. Asante sana. Tuanzie wapi? Kuna mmoja hapa.
Thank you very much. Rajab,
Pole
1
pole.
minute.
Pole pole.
Tafadhalini, pole pole. Kama vile tulivyompa waziri heshima yake aweze address and provide his remarks, we would like the same to your fellow young people so that we're able to have this conversation. And I would also like to remind everyone on the main theme of today's discussion. It is understanding the youth participation. This is a youth dialogue on budget process and specifically on resource allocation and the role of citizenry. Naomba tuweke maswali yetu katika mada ya leo, the role of citizenry. Sisi kama vijana, sisi kama wananchi wa Mombasa, wa Kenya kama nchi yetu, role yetu ni nini katika hii process ya budget? Waziri ametueleza maswali yetu ni yawe kuweza kuelewa role yetu ni nini ili kuweza kusuluhisha. We are already in a problem, so let us focus on the possible solutions that we feel that all of us could actually take part. Rajab, thank you very much. And as we do that, I would like to remind you of the hashtags of today's conversation. And this is hashtag Youth Dialogue on Budget Kenya, hashtag My Budget, My Voice, hashtag Youth Dialogue with Mbadi, and hashtag Mdahalo wa Bajeti Mombasani. Thank you very much. Rajab, we can start having the mics moving around. So we'll have the first set of 5 questions, have Waziri respond to them, and then we get to the second set of questions.
Okay.
Very brief in your questions to allow someone else to ask the same questions.
Yes,
1 question per person.
All protocol observed. I'm Edie Monuve, Cabinet Secretary, Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs in the Kuala Youth Assembly. My question is regarding the Cabinet resolution on dissolving some parastatal, which one was the Kenya Fishing Industries Corporation, Liwatoni. As we know, Liwatoni has potential of employing more than 10,000 youth at our coastal region. As we know, we want to get some feedback from Waziri. What are the plans on reviving that institution, because of potential to our wavuvi and they need to be supported? Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, comrades power. Comrades power. Bwana CS, this is Peter Otondo Biro from the Technical University of Mombasa. I have a concern. Yeah. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Bwana CS, I want to bring to your attention that in Mombasa, as comrades, a chapati goes at 10 bob, and we just realized that the help is being cut off by around 500 shillings, that is 50 chapatis. I was asking this, is there a possibility in the next financial year, if you are going to do the allocation, can you reduce that task? At least, it could be up for 100, 200, at least you favor us a bit.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello. Jambo Waziri. My name is Victor na mimi ni mkaji hapa Mombasa. So just a quick one. We've been seeing that Kenya imekuwa iki-develop in terms of digital revenue collections. And Mombasa County was the first county to introduce that platform, whereby at least we can now be taxing people using the digital platforms. But when it comes to the government now, tunashindwa kazi. Na yetu mnatuambia kuwa people should go to digital. Now when us paying to
the question, please straight to the question.
Waziri, tafadhali, Usinichanganye na niyo tafadhali, Rukia. Usinichanganye tafadhali. Usinichanganye.
Sawa, tuendelee Nandos, tuendelee.
Swali langu ni hii. Wacha niongee Kiswahili tuelewe. Swali yangu ni hii. Mombasa County ndio ilikuwa county za kwanza. Mombasa County na Nairobi kuintroduce digital revenue collection. Nairobi tulikuwa na GGPay. Mombasa tumekuwa watu wa revenue walikuwa nakata leseni na kila kitu ilikuwa inakatwa through mtandao. So swali yangu ni hivi. SHA tunalipa through digital, si ndio? Kila kitu tunalipa through online, si ndio? So why is it that sisi tukilipa through online platform kuna corruption nyingi sana? Sawa, Mr. Waziri. And then my last,
okay, thank you.
Just last one. Mr. Waziri, if possible,
Victor.
if we can start taxing these churches, pia inaweza kwa mzuri. We start
Alright.
taxing churches.
Thank you. Thank you Nandos. Asante.
Naomba Rajab, one last question and then we can allow Waziri to respond to the questions.
Haya.
Hello.
Haya.
Can we have
Yes.
one last question and allow Waziri to respond to the first set of questions?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Asante sana.
I'm Mildred Omondi from Technical University of Mombasa, and my question is this. Kenya has entered
Please
into...
repeat your name.
Mildred Omondi, Technical University of Mombasa. My question is, Kenya has entered into several programs with the IMF in the recent years. How does Treasury ensure that the contract attached to these programs do not disproportionately burden ordinary citizens through the austerity measures?
Thank you. Thank you very much. So let us allow Waziri to respond to the first set of questions and then we will come back to the second set of questions. Kama hamujanielewa kwa lugha ya Kizungu, ningependa tumruhusu waziri wetu ajibu haya maswali matano ya mwanzo, kisha tutarudia muulize the second set of questions. Oh, there are four. So we have one last question. There is a lady back there.
Malenga. Asante. Itifaki ilozingatiwa, mabibi na mabwana, hamujambo.
Tafadhali, Ali, 1
Sorry.
minute. The mic is being given to a lady. Please let's allow her to
It's
respond.
okay, because I've also been given a microphone, maybe.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Let's allow her to ask the question and then we'll get back to you during the second set of questions asking.
Amjambo. Mko salama? Kwa majina naitwa Raudha Mohamed. I'm a youth leader here in Mombasa. My question is, as we are, Bwana Waziri, as we are looking at resource allocation and bettering our economic, how are we addressing the corruption in the country?
Thank you very much. Let's allow Waziri to respond to the first 5 questions. Can I have the mic stand?
Thank you very much. I appreciate 5 of us who have asked questions. First, I'm very happy with one of the hashtags, that is my budget, my voice. Let me try to address the 5 questions. Some of them have been repeated, and for emphasis, I will deal, especially the issue of corruption, I think has come more than once. The first question was from Edie about one of the parastatals. Is it, did you call it Kenya Fishing National Corporation? Industries Corporation. We decided as a government to do some assessments on our state-owned enterprises, what you would call state corporations or parastatals. Thank you very much. So you know, there has been talk. We have so many parastatals in Kenya, almost 200 of them, and some of them don't make sense. And a lot of us have complained, governments have complained in the past, so we decided to constitute a team to look at these parastatal reforms. And recommendations were made. And now we are in the process of implementation because the cabinet actually passed the resolution from that committee. Some parastatals are going to be dissolved, some are going to be merged, some we will transfer their... It's a bit of a challenge, yeah, but anyway, just do your best. Do your best. Maybe we take out this. Okay. Thank you. So what I'm saying is that there are some parastatals that we are dissolving, some we are merging, some we are taking the functions to the line ministries. Some of the parastatals have duplication of functions. Like, for example, we were asking ourselves, if you have water harvesting authority and you also have national irrigation authority, what stops you from harvesting water and irrigate with it? And just have one parastatal, either water harvesting and irrigation authority. So those are some of the funny things. Like you find some parastatals, science, mathematics. Then you find, for example, Law Society of Kenya is self-financing. Institute of Certified Public Accountants, self-financing. When you come to Engineers Board, which is also almost regulating like these other professions, is now a parastatal. So machining, National Machining Complex, the one that was set up to do the Nyayo bars, is still there, and people are earning salary. So there is need to do away with some parastatals. But in the process, we must do it in a way that it does not, that this mic was very good when I was presenting. Am I use both of them? Okay, just stand there by that one. So I will check this particular parastatal and see. Before I leave, I would want us to get that gentleman's number. Hata mimi sasa nimekubali utamwaga unga. So if I could get that, Edie, if I could get your contact so that we follow up this matter, because you seem to be passionate about this parastatal. We don't want to close a parastatal which still has serious contribution to the economy and to the region. So we will be listening. We will be listening, and there is a process, it's a procedure to dissolve, merge, or even transfer the functions of these parastatals. Fred Obiero, I think this was a suggestion, a request, and that is why we are here. It is how do we budget, isn't it? So you have suggested that we put more money for university education, if I got you correctly. Yeah, we put that help must be reduced by how much? 500 shillings. 500. And that is a lot of money. See, that money can buy something. How much what can it buy nowadays? In campus, can I tell you something? When I was in campus, first I studied, we were getting what used to be called boom. Our time. I don't know whether you've heard about that thing. Our time there was some money called 5380. 5,380. It was a lot of money. You could even pay school fees for your siblings. You could buy, we used to buy trousers. Those days, the trousers with pockets, yeah. That if you didn't have that one, then you didn't know what you are. Yeah? So we used to buy those ones and buy our whatever suitcases. Then towards the end of my schooling, something radical came. That now we have to buy food. That's the first time I paid accommodation and food. Fortunately, I was a student leader, so I didn't pay accommodation. I was given a room for free. But I paid food. And that time, ugali was 2 shillings. Skuma wiki, 50 cents. Black tea, coffee, tea, cocoa, 50 cents. The most expensive was beef, 7 shillings, 50 cents. Is it the way it is still? Things have changed. They are tougher, eh? So I have taken note. That is why we are engaging here. That you are requesting that when we are allocating resources, we support university education. But there's something I want to say about university education. As a country, we are finding it very hard to support university education. Because we need about 100, not less than 107 billion. 107. But we are only able to allocate about 79 billion. So there is a shortfall. But the biggest problem is that we end up not educating the people we should educate, and sometimes we educate people we should not educate. Because you see, there are children like that, there's children of Mbadi, who go through primary education in private schools, paying 300,000. High school, 500, 600,000 per year, or even per term. Wakifika university, I surrender it to government. I surrender my child to the government. Yet, child of a poor person, a peasant, a primary school teacher, because I categorize primary school teachers as very poor. I have one in my home and I know. My own brother, I see what he goes through. Sometimes I come through for him. So you find these children of poor people. Hello, let's not digress to the primary school teacher. The bottom line, what I'm trying to explain is that we have poor among our society. We should put resources to educating these poor people. If it was not for the free university education, which I got, I would not be standing here. Because my parents would have not managed. Even my siblings would have not helped me. Because my brother who paid my school fees in high school was just a casual laborer in Kericho Tea Estate. He would not afford university education. He tried, he really struggled to get me through high school. So we need to support those who have the potential, those who will be very senior people in the society, but are leaving school because of lack of school fees. So I am very confident that the government is working on a way of ensuring that those who cannot afford to pay university pay, even as we put more resources to university education. Revenue collection, this one I think is largely about corruption. And I will tie it to the last question by Mohammed. A lady called Mohammed. There is Victor. They both asked similar question. So the question was corruption. Let me explain this. If we sealed the loopholes of corruption, which I believe we must now, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, this money we have been going for out here, IMF, World Bank, African Development Bank, money from China, money from wherever, Europe, Italy is giving us money, by the way, Italy and German. Those are the leading bilaterals now with Kenya on loans. That money is not going to be there. With the Trump administration, it's very clear. They have said they are not investing anymore in overseas development. They are withdrawing money from the war in Ukraine. Europe has decided that they are taking up that war. So even the money we were getting from Europe, we are not going to get it. Because they are diverting money to the Ukraine war. Because to them, that is more important than anything else, their survival. We are going to be left on our own. And the truth is, and which we must tell every public servant, hata kama ni kuiba, tumeiba ya kutosha, there is no more money to steal. There is no more money to steal. There is this talk someone was putting it on me. It is the former President Uhuru Kenyatta who said it, that every day we are losing 2 billion. Have you heard about that? Let me ask you, if we are losing 2 billion every day, how much is that per year? 720. I was asking, if we then reduce our appetite by 50%, if you are stealing 1,000, steal 500. Another person, if you are stealing 100, steal 50. If we make a decision, a conscious decision, the whole country, those who are stealing, not all of us, those who are stealing, that from now going forward, we steal 50%. That is not desirable, but I'm just suggesting. What happens? You will save 365 billion in a year. The total external debts that we borrow, external, is only 352. So I would not even go to queue in the IMF offices, World Bank. I said it went viral that it is very discomforting. Do you know how we go there, you know? You are scheduled, your time, and it is 30 minutes, come on, if you are lucky, 30 minutes like this. So we are lining in the corridor, literally. You go there, you find Ghana is waiting. You go there, you find, so mnaitwa Rwanda, wanakuja, wanamalizana. Now then you call Kenya, we come in, we defend ourselves, our figures, our what, the things that I was talking about here, inflation, sijui reserves, tuko na hii, revenue to collect hii, expenditure we are cutting to this. Then unatoka. That is how you get the money from IMF and World Bank. My friend, if there is something we must work towards getting out of, is that begging culture. And saa hiyo tunaenda America na nitaenda April hii. On 18th, I'm on air going to the US. Tunapanda ndege, ministers, imagine tumeweka tai, tumenyonga tai. Ministers wa Africa, tunaenda wapi? Tunaenda kuomba America. You know, it is, by the way, it is the truth. Now, how do we deal with corruption? We can put systems, but corruption to fight, it must start with me and you. I will spell out what we are doing now to fight corruption. But I will explain to you that that is not enough. They even frustrate systems. Kwanza nyinyi mejenzi mmesoma, mna understand teknolojia, you can collapse it anytime and bring it back. So hata tukileta teknolojia gani, if you decided to hack it to do what, you will do it. So it has to be a cultural change. It must start with you. We must change our habit. I went to Singapore. I've been to Singapore, I think thrice actually. There was a time I was in Singapore, and let me tell you this. And this is not a created story, it is the truth. I went and had my lunch. When I finished, is when I discovered I only had US dollars, and they don't take dollars. But you have to go to the bureau, get change, and pay. Now, I told them, I don't have money, and I left my card, my credit card. So what do I do? They told me, no, it's okay, it's okay. I asked, is there a bureau here? They told me, yes, here you can get money exchanged. But the rates are not so good here. There is a place where you can get better rates. Imagine someone telling you that. I wonder how many in Kenya will tell you that. That don't exchange your money here, go and get a better rate there. And you know they are pointing about 300 meters away. So I said, fine, so I can get better rates there? Yes. Then I pay? Yes. So I thought they were going to give me someone to go with me. Imagine, he said, just to go, it is there. I walked and I was looking and I'm alone. Imagine I am going 300 meters away. I wonder whether that can happen in Kenya. That you have eaten money in a hotel, nobody knows you because I'm a foreigner. Kwanza black. Them, they have a different color. And then these guys trust me to go 300 meters away to get change and come and pay, and that is what I did. Look at what integrity does. So what are we doing to fight corruption in an environment where there is no integrity, where people, these are the things that we are putting in place. Number one, the biggest den of corruption is procurement. So we are implementing, as we speak, e-procurement to reduce human interaction with the system when it comes to procurement. This has been talked about for years. When I came to the Treasury, I asked, why haven't we rolled out this system? The system is already there, but it is not being rolled out because there is no money to roll it out, to train people. And how much is that? 560 million. I signed it in my first month. And now we are onboarding all government departments. By 1st of April, all MDAs should be in the system. We are going to pilot it for 3 months, April, May, and June. July 1st, all government procurement systems must be on that e-procurement platform. Because this idea of doing manual changing figures, if someone doesn't want you to win a tender, he can remove a page from your document and you lose. And then they tell you, you have not paginated your document. Just paginated, that's writing page 1, 2, 3. That alone can make you lose a tender, even if you are the best evaluated bidder. That is what the system we have today. 2, we must have Treasury single account. That also is going to be implemented by 1st of July. Number 3, the budget we are doing today is zero-based. This idea of saying last year I got 10 billion. So this year, can you add me 500 million more? To do what? No one knows. You must justify every coin. You must explain that these are the programs I want to run. And we have put a module in the IFMIS, a budgeting module in the IFMIS today. So that if you have said, I'm going to buy chairs, low back chair, whatever, there is a price range for it. So that we standardize procurement. You will find the government offices, 1 floor, 2nd floor, the same pen like this one. It is 1,000 on the 2nd floor, 3,000 on the 4th floor. This same pen. That is what is obtaining today. Those are the things that we are working on. Finally, there is accrual accounting. I know that one now, many people will not understand. Cash basis to accrual. A bottle of water, buying this bottle of water and buying a car in Kenya has the same weight. They are expensed immediately. So when we prepare our accounts, we say water, this much. That year has gone with the water, it has gone with the car. Yet you use the car for 10 years. We must have a system which are being paid there. And you can't tell. You go to Ministry of Health, it's the same. You come to my own treasury, it is the same. The last question, no, not the last, second last, taxing churches. I don't know why you want us to tax churches. But I think, let us be honest, we should not tax God's work. God's work, hiyo tukiingia hiyo territory, hata Mungu atakasirika na mimi na sisi. Na sitaki Mungu akasirike na mimi. Maybe we can talk about businesses, yeah? If church is running businesses. But let us also, Christians, Muslims, Hindus, let us also if we are going to reject any public contribution, let us reject everything public. Let us be putting money in envelopes and hand them in. Whether you have stolen that money, you ni shauri yako na Mungu yako. Because you cannot say that my million is the one that I've stolen, yet someone has contributed 1,000 and you don't know whether he also stole a chicken. Thieves are thieves, whether you have stolen a million or you have stolen a kuku, ni mwizi. So are we going to explain that mimi nimeleta sadaka, hii nimeuza mbuzi na hii mbuzi ni yangu? Let us have a standardized rule in our churches. I'm a church goer, by the way. I'm a Christian. But if we have to apply rules, let them be all standardized. From the lowest person, including the pastor, should be telling us, wewe sadaka yako hiyo umetoa wapi? Ama ni pesa yetu tulitoa wiki iliyopita, ndio umechukua ukaleta hapa. So that all of us are accountable, si ndio? So we all want to be accountable. But don't push me to tax churches. Churches, vita na churches sitaki. Na hiyo inaweza kuwa vita na Mungu, si ndio? Nani anataka kupigana na Mungu hapa? Hebu inua mkono. Mimi sitaki. Lastly, there was Mildred, you asked a very, very good question about IMF programs and the conditionalities that come with them. Something that I want to explain about IMF. By the way, IMF does not force a country into their program. We invite IMF ourselves. But when you sit down and with them, then you must, for you to get the funding from IMF, you must now abide by their conditions. The mistake we did with the IMF program of 2021 is that we agreed on a very ambitious revenue mobilization. When the program is coming to an end in April, okay? I think
Governor.
wacha tukaribishe my brother, my friend, my deputy party leader, Abdul Samad, the governor of the great people of Mombasa, my colleague, I want to repeat, my deputy party leader. So tumemkaribisha, si ndio? Wangapi wamekaribisha governor? Nione kwa mkono. Let's give him a round of applause again. You know, this event was supposed to happen in the morning, but when I shared with my brother, and I'm aware that he was attending a very important meeting in Nairobi as a member of the Central Committee of ODM, which I used to chair, and which is my party. When I asked, in fact, I asked whether I should also attend today's event, nikaambiwa, no, wewe, you are a technocrat. You have been donated to go and correct. So we don't want you to bring you into politics. Thank you, my party leader, for saving me and blocking me from being part of the politics of Nairobi today. But kwa roho niko hapo. So he was in Nairobi, and imagine he has really worked tirelessly hard. He told me he would be here around 4:30. I don't know what the time is. Thank you, my brother, for coming. I know you will find your time. We have gone, first I made a presentation engaging with our friends here, the youth, and other Kenyans who are not necessarily youth, but are youthful by heart. So I explained to them about the budget, where we are, how things are tough, things which are working and which ones are not working. Now they have asked me 5 questions, which I was on the last one. Then we go for the second round. And then I don't know, the MC will tell us, we'll go to the next round, So I was answering the last question on IMF. So I said, IMF does not invite themselves into the country. We invite them when we have difficulties to help us out. So in 2021, we invited them. But unfortunately, we agreed on revenue mobilization as the most important parameter or yardstick to measure our success. Now that revenue mobilization became problematic because we were overambitious. As we get to a new program after the one that is ending on April 1st, I will make sure that any program that we enter into are realistic, achievable, and in the best interest of the people of Kenya, so that we don't get into the problem that we got into. They did not propose us to get into this program. But when we got into the program, we agreed on parameters that were not very, very achievable. Otherwise, thank you again back to Madam, my sister here, to continue with the program.
Thank you very much, Waziri. A round of applause to him once again. And once again, this is to acknowledge the presence of the county government of Mombasa's governor, His Excellency, Abdulsamad Sharif Nasser, who is honoring us in today's dialogue. So before we go to the second set of questions, to everyone who is holding a mic, please make sure we have equal opportunities from people all across. I do not see someone with a mic huku chini. Okay, thank you very much. We look at gender, we look at persons with disability, we look at our fellow young people. Let's make sure we have equal distribution. And we also have feedback forms that my sister Aisha over there will be distributing a few feedback forms to us to support in providing feedback of this session. And to my Muslim brothers and sisters who would like to pray, unfortunately, we're not going to take a break. We will continue with the conversation. However, whoever would like to take about a 5 minutes break to go pray, please head upstairs. On my right, you're going to find a prayer room. Someone will direct you to that. So we get back to the second round of questions from the team.
Here. Rukia?
Naona mkono hapa chini. So we're gonna start. So we'll start with Miriam.
Yes.
Alafu mmoja hapa chini. Alafu ndio tupande juu. Please go straight to the questions to allow more people to ask the question.
Thank you so much, CS Mbadi. I would like to talk about the housing levy. I'm a taxed Kenyan, and I feel like my taxes are not working for. So the housing levy, we are deducted 1.5%, right? And after deduction, for me to be able to get a unit, I have to save on boma yangu. For me, once I save on boma yangu, so let's look at a Kenyan who's making 40,000. Most of those units go for 2 million, 1.5 units, 1.5 million or 2 million. The prices are a bit higher. Is the housing levy meant for the common mwananchi, the one who's supposed to afford it because you're saying affordable housing, or is it meant for the selected few who can afford it? My other question is, the young people don't have jobs. We are exporting labor. We saw people go to meet up with Alfred Mutua because a lot of people don't have jobs. What are we doing to create more opportunities for the young person so that we may stop exporting this labor? When we export them, who is going to come back and vote for the right government? That's it from me.
Thank you. Before we head to the second question, I am requesting every single person to please maintain silence as we allow our fellow young people to ask questions. Can we have a mic over here?
Good evening. I have a question to the CS and to the members of the public. There is a lot of wastage, Mr. CS. My name is Albert Ouma. There's a lot of wastage in the government. that is costing the taxpayers a lot of money. Even those debts you are talking about, we can reduce them when we avoid this wastage. There was a convoy of 100 people in Addis Ababa at taxpayers' money. You, the CS, you have been using choppers and your colleague, Opio Wadai. I believe if we can now go to lifestyle where we reduce wastage, we can save a lot. Another one is Kasongo, distributing 20 million to a church.
Thank you very much, Bwana Waziri.
Excuse me. Sasa, see, we agreed to be civilized people. Subiri kidogo. I would like to take it uko juu. Guys.
You said you are going to deal with us on a fair ground. Please be fair, our moderator. I have a question.
1 minute. 1 minute. Naomba tusikizane. Tuko hapa kuongea sote. Tusipoheshimiana, ni mimi nasema mic inaenda wapi, na kwa sababu mic imetoka hapa chini, turuhusu watu wa juu.
Comrades power! Comrades viva! I have a direct question to Mr. Waziri. First, my name is Justus Odhiambo Moso, a student at Technical University of Mombasa. I'm a common citizen, Waziri, who works on a principle that says my tax is my voice. Mr. Waziri, my tax is not working for me. Why?
Can we have a question this side? Naomba mic hii side. Can we have a mic on this side? Yes, the lady in pink, naomba apewe mic. Chicha, wherever you are. Okay, as we wait for her, let's have the guy over there ask the question. Excuse me, where are the mics?
There's a mic here. Comrades power. Comrades zaga. Comrades ria. Comrades shh. My good name is Vivian Wangoi. I'm a psychology student at TUM. Thank you so much, Mr. Waziri, for these platforms. Yes, and we acknowledge that you obey our constitution according to Article 201A and B. My question goes directly to, now that you've had a lot of complaints, what mechanisms are you putting ahead to ensure transparency and accountability in the utilization of budget allocation, specifically targeted to the youth program, so that we can track their impact and effectiveness? And also, considering the digital developed to invest in youth development and create a sustainable future for young people and generation. And maybe to a common question, I would love to know why was Honorable Nini Nyoro fired from the budget committee? Thank you.
I had raised my hand.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Comrades power. Comrades power. Okay, to all the protocol observed. Okay, thank you so much. I'm the one talking, eh? My name is Hezron Ogola, the president of Kenya Coast National Polytechnic. So I'm here with two questions, Mr. CS. Here in Mombasa, you find that we have situation
where you can go to buy a matchbox in a shop. In this shop, you are told that the matchbox is 10 shillings. In the other shop, the matchbox is 5 shillings. What are you doing as the government to ensure that there is a standard price for commodities in the country and everywhere across? Another question. Another question is...
Question. Excuse me. Allow your friends to also ask questions.
I think just one.
Allow your friends to ask questions.
One.
Can we have a question up here?
Hello. Hebu tulieni. Nawaomba mutulie. Huku kuja kwa waziri pengine hata mjui ankuja kwa nini. Lakini niko na haja na hamu na furaha hasa nilipoona nyinyi Gen Z mtamuuliza waziri maneno ya kisawasawa kuhusu budget yetu. Lakini naona maulizo ya kiuoga. Na huu uoga mnauliza nao ndio muona bwana waziri yuajibu vile anavyotaka. Bwana waziri, hebu tulia weka kando. Kaa kando. Bwana waziri, mimi nakupenda sana. Na kukupenda kwako wewe. Umefanya busara ambaye haijafanywa na waziri yoyote. Kuja kukaa na wananchi wadogo instead of your MPs there ambao wananunuliwa na yes na no. Kwa hivyo bwana waziri, nakuomba sisi wananchi twaumia na Kasongo watuua watumaliza. Kwa hivyo mimi nakuomba kama ulikubali kuchukua hiyo nafasi baada ya wao washaharibu. Maana wewe uko hapo kurekebisha. Hauko hapo kutengeza. Maana washaharibu wao. Kila kitu umekwenda umekuta kisha poro na kina Faruki Beti na kina Oscar Sudi. Sasa wao yes wewe uko hapo John Mbadi, as I know you when you are the MP in the way you are guruma in the parliament, do it now also. Nobody can bwogo you. You are coming from a very biggest party, ODM. Usimwogope mtu, sisi tuko. We are here to defend you and we love you, as I've said from the beginning. Here but ya kumdefend Kasongo, we don't want. Mwache Kasongo aende kadefendiwe na Kipchumba Nurkomen, Faruki Bet, Oscar Sudi, mwache aende kadefendi. But not you. Thanks you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Asante, mpeche.
Comrades power. With due respect. Mnanisikiza? Okoko, relax. Sawa, with due respect. With the chance we have been granted. It's a special chance. And we are here because of the CS Treasury. So let's behave professional as the university at the sea level. Comrades power. From the end, again, from the other side, let's behave and listen to each other. And we go. Comrades power. We have talked with the CS. We'll have a similar conversation specifically for comrades. Sawa. So let's give others time, and we give them and we move. We'll have our time, to deal with the issues of NPM. For this side, comrades power. There is also one of us, the president there. You give them one word, one question. then we'll have finished. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Atapata time yake. Si tumeongea sasa hivi. Sawa. Thank you. Excuse me. Si tumeagree that it's one person
Hello.
who's asking.
Waziri, His Excellency Governor, all protocol of serve, wananchi wa Mombasa, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. God is good all the time. God is good and that is nature. Wow. Kwa majina naitwa Amin Salim, chairman of Old Town Beach Management Unit na chair wa creek ya Chuda Creek ambao mko mbele yake hapa. Langu litakuwa specific kuhusu Kenya Fish Industrial Cooperative. Ni jambo ambalo within 7 years tumesubiria na juzi tumeona limekuwa privatized kupatiwa mtu binafsi, na kwa miaka 7 kama wananchi, kama vijana, kama wavuvi tumeweza kulisubiria lile soko ili liweze kutusaidia kama wananchi wa Mombasa na wananchi wa Kenya kijumla. Ni soko ambalo limejengwa na taxpayer ya mwananchi na ni soko ambalo litasaidia zaidi ya watu 10,000 kupata ajira katika lile soko. Katika Kenya kunao many corporations za meat na majani chai nini, na tunafurahia jambo kama hilo kwa sababu ni kuenuka kwa Kenya. Kama Coast ndo first time tumepata kiwanja kama kile, na katika ripoti ya 2020 hadi 2024 tumekuwa tu provide 6% of fish food in Kenya, while our brothers ambao nafurahi sana kuwaona kwa sana hapa watu wa Kisumu ambao percent, we really appreciate their effort katika kuleta fish food in Kenya. But hiki kiwanja kimetengezwa mpaka kimekamilishwa na kimetiliwa pesa zaidi ya mara 2 kujengwa kiko kiwanja kiwe international level. Ghafla kimemalizika, kinataka kupatiwa mtu binafsi. Huyu mwananchi wa chini, huyu mvuvi wa hali ya chini, hii jamii ya hali ya chini itakwenda wapi? Isaidike wapi? Kama huyu private property kila
Good evening, everyone. My name is Asalwa Nuri Katana. I'm a representative from Kwale Youth Assembly. Kwa majina naitwa Asalwa Nuri na mimi ni kiongozi wa vijana from Kwale Youth Assembly. I serve as a Waziri of Education from Kwale Youth Assembly. All protocol observed. Waziri, I only have one question. We have qualified engineers in Kenya, but it is so sad that as a Kenyan nation, we acquire labor from outside our nation. While here in Kenya, we have qualified people. This is based in a health department especially, where we have biomedical engineers. Lots of them who have, are satisfied by ISO, and they have already graduated, but they are not employed at the moment. And this is because sipitali ikijengwa, equipment zikiletwa, as our government, they acquire private companies to come do contract for services of those machines. While we have potential young people who are very energetic and have more knowledge on how to embrace the new technology. How can we change that as a nation? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do
Comrades
we have
power.
Karibu?
Comrades Viva. Comrades Wisdom. My name is Dennis Odhiambo, medical laboratory officer, member of Parliament Kisumu County 2027. I want to say this, CS Mbadi. I want to say this. We pay taxes for our teachers to get salary. The schools also get CDF money. They still get capitation. And then we also pay school fees for our students to go through these schools. So I'm in a medical field, Waziri, but I want you to at least make me understand as a CPA, why are we paying taxes for the e-citizen services to work, and still we pay for the services when we are applying for these services. So make me understand as a CPA. And then again, as Ruto is giving churches randomly 20 million, he should also be giving youths 20 million randomly. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Vijana oe. Vijana oe. Kwa majina naitwa Judy Barasa. Na serve as the Secretary General Youth Advisory Mombasa. My question is, Waziri umeongelea about the current situation ya debt. So my question is, how will the Treasurer ensure that the
Atapata nafasi yake. Naomba mumruhusu msichana anayeongea aulize swali lake.
So Waziri umeongelea about the current situation ya debt ya Kenya sahi. So my question is, how will the Treasurer ensure that the debts, each and every shilling we're taking right now are being invested in the project that are going to create more opportunities to our youth, not only in the recurrent expenditure. My second question is, umemention hizo debt na masiku tunafaa kulipa. So what happens when we are completely unable to pay the debts? What happened to us?
Can I have the last guy who asked the question akiwa pale arudie swali lake? Waziri hakukapture hiyo swali. Please. Naomba urudie hilo swali lake and go straight to the point.
Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Dennis Odhiambo. I've got, my question goes like this. I'm asking, we pay for taxes for our teachers to get salary. And still the government also supporting the schools with the capitation, also plus CDF. But still we pay for fees. We students, we pay for fees. Another question, we have got e-citizen. It is running. We pay taxes for these services to run. When we are doing application online, we still pay for fees for application. And then lastly, I said that Ruto is giving 20 million to churches. Let him also give it randomly to our youth. Thank you so much.
Aya.
Naomba hilo swali moja.
Okay.
Sawa. Alafu bado tuko hapa. Bado mtapata nafasi ya kuuliza maswali. Lakini mwalau huyu aliyoko hapa juu mmoja mmoja akiongea tuweze kumuelewa. Ni sawa?
Okay. Waziri, may I have your attention? My name is Zedekia Adika. I am an advocate of the High Court and I lead civil society organization in this region. My question is, thank you. There have been clear indications by the Office of Control of Budget that certain amount of money that we contribute as Kenyans, as taxation, is not being used within the system. The department that shares that money with whoever gets it is within your hand. What are you doing to seal those loopholes? Finally, the coastal region is a very rich region. There are a lot of minerals within our counties in the coastal region. But the coastal region is not benefiting from those minerals. You're also saying that we have a debt, a huge debt, and we have minerals in Kenya. What is the contribution of minerals and natural resources to the source of revenue for this nation? And how can that mineral take us away from this cry of whether we have enough resources to benefit or to work through our budget? Thank you.
Can we have the mic to Mzee pale in yellow?
We take 3 more and we wrap up.
Bwana Waziri, sisi tukiwa hapa Pwani tunasema Kiswahili. Mwanzo kabisa tumekushukuru. Jina langu? Bwana Waziri, niko na jina manne. Jina langu ni Rafael Ondiek Odieny Wakaya. Number one, Bwana Waziri. Bwana Waziri, wewe uko katika cheo kikubwa. Utafanya nini katika industry na digital technology ili hao watoto waende 50 years ama 100 years from now? Kwa sababu naona wengi wanaongea na wewe kama jokers. They are not telling you the truth, but the country is burning. The country is burning. And I am repeating, it is burning. Ndio wengine wanaita Kasongo hapa, mimi simujui. Haya. Number 2. Bwana Waziri, tuko na hii kitu inaitwa enterprises. What are you going to do about the enterprises budget? Kwa sababu tunaona China, tunaona Germany, tunaona Japan, tunaona USA na kwingineko. How are you doing to do the budget of these my young daughters and sons before me here? Utafanya nini? Kwa sababu hawaongei kukupendeza.
Next person.
Thank you very much. Turuhusu wenzetu waulize maswali. A question up there. Sasa tumwache amalize. Tumwache amalize.
Angalia, tunamtafutia microphone.
Alifaa kuchukua priority ya swali yake.
Ni nani amezima?
Ndio hapo. Check. Tumia hii.
La mwisho, Bwana Waziri, la mwisho ni very, very important. And you sitting there, you are a very important person. La mwisho, the youth, disability, akina mama, budget yao utafanya namna gani? Kwa sababu tumepewa 5% ya vijana na walemavu na akina mama. Hata hiyo 5% hatupati. Utafanya namna gani ili tuishi afueni? Kwa sababu nyinyi mnakunywa chai Nairobi. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Asanteni sana.
Wait. One. I've been sitting here requesting for microphone, but they are surpassing me as if I'm a waving flag. Okay, comrades power, comrades wisdom. My name is Jared Clayton, a senior student majoring in health. So, Bwana CS, I have one question and one concern. My question is fiscal equitability versus political expenditure. So, Mr. CS, I want you to answer me this question. What is going on between fiscal equitability of this country and political expenditure? You see, I've never heard our president, like last time when he was here in Mombasa, if you go to town at night, there are children there, young. Watoto wadogo wako hapo wamekaa nje, but the president haizi kuja aseme, from today, I'm giving this 20 million to construct maybe penye watu watakuwa wanalala. I've never seen that. But a church that inakaa imejengwa of millions, uende unapena hapo millions. What is going on between fiscal equitability and political expenditure in this Kenya? Number two is a concern, and I'm taking this as an opportunity because the governor is here and the CS is here. So, like if we as youth, if you want to get taxes from us, you can't get taxes to pay our debt without job opportunity. But I can see the government has failed to raise enough job opportunities for the youth in Kenya. For me, like we youth, we have become innovative enough. Like for me personally, I have my own idea of foundation, but I cannot get to that idea because of financial instability. So, Bana CS, this is my concern to you. I have a foundation idea that can raise so many job opportunities to the youth. If you can hear me out enough, and maybe if you call me personally, I can explain it to you. I can explain it to you, and if you can hear me enough, that idea, Mr. President, Mr. CS, wait. You know, tuongee tu kweli, like kama si used to go hapa, si wote, we are depending on this Swahili port, si ndio? We are depending on this Swahili port. Now, this person enough, but without that more financial stability, easy to employ si wote. But if you have this financial stability from, like for me, if you start other foundations, we can be able to create more job opportunities, and it will be majorly for the youth for this country. So, Mr. CS, kindly hear my concern. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions that we have right now, let us allow our Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury and Economic Planning to address the questions. Waziri, karibu tena.
Thank you very much. Sorry. The second generation of questions were actually 12. And let me admit one thing, that I have seen more openness in the second round of questions. What I want to remind you is, remember, in 2022, when the cabinet was being vetted, I was still in the that time I was in the National Assembly. I was serving my 16th year, and I categorically talked about the skunk, isn't it? I want to guarantee you that I don't want to be a skunk. So I am going to work very hard not to be a skunk. Sawa sawa? That's why I want to address and answer your questions the best I can. And I told you that let us be open with each other. And I want to again remind you that the theme of today's meeting was, how do we budget? What is it that you think we should include in our programs? So whatever you have said, I am taking it as a lesson. I am taking what can go into the budget. So it is not in vain. When you complain about what are we doing about the youth, that is feedback from you. That is why I am here. When you tell me about wastages, I'm already cracking my head. How do we reduce the wastages? Amze there, who has very many names, Raphael, has actually talked about us taking tea in Nairobi. That is true. But I decided to today come and take tea from Mombasa. At least there is something to appreciate me for, isn't it? That yes, I've been taking tea in Nairobi, but today I'm taking tea in Mombasa. Now let me address the questions. On the question of housing levy by Miriam, I think we need probably to sit and explain this housing program. There are various categories of Kenyans. And I'm not saying it is flawless. There are issues still need to be addressed. But there are various categories of Kenyans and how they qualify for housing, for allocation of houses. There are Kenyans who will get it almost at market price. But there are Kenyans who are getting the social housing. What we need is that the State Department for Housing must make sure that the allocation of housing is done in a transparent and is done in a way that promotes the objective for which the housing levy was formed. So there are those challenges. I take note of the challenges. But we must understand that there is no one standard way of allocating housing to Kenyans. The objective was to make sure that at least all Kenyans have decent housing as is put in the Constitution. The implementation strategy was to get housing levy, which is 1.5%. But I want to tell you, it is now not 1.5%. The effective rate today on housing is not 1.5%. It's 1.05%. And I'll explain to you why. If that housing levy was not taken from you, it would have gone to your salary and it would have been taxed. So you would have gotten 1.5% less 30%. But now, because you are contributing it to housing levy, you are paying that 1.5% and it is not being taxed. I think that is something also which I have explained and people don't understand. If you are paying housing levy of 1,500, that 1,500, if there was no housing levy, you would not have got 1,500 at the end of the month in your salary. It was going to be taxed at 30%, largely, especially if you are earning anything upwards of about 40,000. So you would have paid 1,500, you would have received 1,500 less 30%, which is 450. So you would have only received 1,050. So effectively now, with the amendments in December, which I brought to Parliament and was successful, now the effective rate of housing levy is 1.05%. Now, young people don't have jobs. What are we doing to create jobs? This is a very, very important question. Actually, one of the reasons for the uprising of Gen Zs is because they don't have jobs. The frustration. And therefore, job creation, which is an agenda of this government and is in our Vision 2030, must now be actualized. The only way to create jobs is to focus and put your attention to the manufacturing sector. We must move away from agriculture being an end in itself. Agriculture as our backbone, as the backbone in our economy, must now support creation of jobs by supporting manufacturing. And that is why value chain must now be emphasized. We are, Honorable Abdul Samad is aware of this. Government has taken steps to create what we call CAIPs, the County Aggregated Industrial Parks. That is one strategy. And we are putting in the next budget 4.5 billion shillings. In this budget we have 3 billion for this financial year. The problem is Parliament has failed to pass the bill for this financial year because of the tussle over fuel rate maintenance levy with the counties. We are going to lose that money because of unnecessary fights in Parliament. How I wish that Parliament, going forward, we are looking for a solution with these governors. We have embarked on a solution how to get out this money and ring fence it so that we release funds. Every county, like a county like Migori, is already at 70%. I know governor here is working very hard to set up industrial park. Every county must create employment. There is nowhere where we will sit as a country and tell you now we have created employment in Garissa, go there. There are two things that the government must do. You must create an enabling environment in terms of legislation and tax regime and policies to encourage direct investment, whether foreign or local. And that is why I have said that under my watch at the Treasury, we are not going to disadvantage businesses by increasing unnecessarily the taxes so that we stop discouraging employment, investment and job creation. But we must also invest in some infrastructure in counties like the one I've mentioned, so that we can create jobs at all levels. We already have a pool of 3.4 million Kenyans with no jobs. I don't know whether you knew that. Fresh from, those who have come out of colleges. We are churning out about 800,000 Kenyans every year who are getting into the job market without jobs. It is a crisis. It must be dealt with. So I agree with Miriam that must catch our attention. And I will combine that and respond to the issue of mining and minerals. There are only 3 sectors of our economy which contracted last year, which did not grow. Some contracted. 3, manufacturing sector, contracted. Construction sector, contracted. And mining and minerals. 3 sectors. We have decided as a government, and we have taken a decision in the cabinet, that in the next budget, we are going to target these 3 sectors to generate more employment and to have better growth in the manufacturing sector, in mining and minerals, and also in the construction industry. That is why we have raised money today. We have raised last week and today, we have raised 42 billion shillings or thereabout. We are raising more money next week so that we pay the pending bills of road contractors to go back to the road. By the end of April, we want to have cleared, if possible, if we raise all the money that we intend to raise, to pay all our contractors, because that is one of the reasons why construction industry has contracted. We are already working, and we have worked on the interest rate, which is also making construction industry not to grow. Because when banks are not giving money to private sector, people are not borrowing to invest in projects like housing, then you will not have growth in that sector. So we are paying contractors, we are bringing down interest rates so that banks can give money to you and I. You construct your house, you will employ not less than 20 people in the construction of that house. As we supplement with the government should not be the one implementing everything. We should just be creating an opportunity for investment. Let me move quickly. How do we deal with wastage in government? We must make sure that we do our budgeting properly. But this question is even more than explaining that we must deal with wastage. Because this question has directly touched on me. Even how I use chopper has been asked. And I must not run away from that. I must answer it because I'm accountable to the public. I'm a public officer. About 100 people going to Addis Ababa. By the way, nobody, I am not aware of anybody who government supported to go to Addis Ababa. You asked me a question, am I supposed to respond or I leave? If there is any public officer who used public resources to go to Addis Ababa, we have Auditor General, they will be caught. But as far as I'm concerned, because the one which was louder was the one for MPs, and they stated clearly that they were using their own money, I have no reason to doubt it. And by the way, if I have my money to go and see if Baba is winning or losing in Addis Ababa, why do you stop me from going to Addis Ababa? Why are you dictating on me not to use my money? If I use public resources and I am caught now, that becomes a question. But if you are just stopping me, then I will tell you, you must be having a problem either with Baba or myself. Yeah. If I use my money, there's no problem. If I use my salary, no problem. I can use my salary to go to Addis Ababa, come to Mombasa, go to Busia, or go to my home. It should not be an issue. But if I'm using public money, then you start asking me questions. Then I must justify why going to Addis Ababa is more important than if that money was used to give water to your household, isn't it? Yeah. So let us not also be just blank because someone said somewhere that too many people went to Addis Ababa. By the way, Baba has never gone for a seat out of this Kenya. So we had also to go and see how things are there. And if I use my money, there is nothing wrong with that. But if I use public money, I have to justify why it was important. Now, the same Alan has asked me, Alan, hapa ni kama uko na shida na mimi. Why I used the chopper? Let me ask you, and I've used chopper, by the way. That is a fact. I have used chopper. And can I explain? I used a chopper, for example, to go to Tana River. Let me tell you what I saw when I went to Tana River. Since independence, the children of those Pokomo and Orma people have been eaten by crocodile as they cross from one end to the other to school because of a bridge of 100 million shillings. And in the same country, that is why I went, the reason why we should encourage, but with modesty, all government officials to move across the country. Coming here, I didn't use a chopper, I used a commercial flight. But going to Tana River, it was late. I left Nairobi, I had a meeting at State House, I left at 10, I had to go to Tana River. I could have not driven to Tana River and back that day. But now, the question you want to ask, when I went to Tana River, in the supplementary budget, I made sure that I allocated 50 million for each for the two bridges. Because why should the children of Kenyans be eaten by crocodile while other people drive back at their bedrooms on Tarmac Road? Why? Why should the Oromo people have their children they are given birth to? I can hear my brother is telling me that is commendable. If I did not go to Tana River, I am telling you today, no one would have thought of allocating 100 million to those two bridges. Because I would have sat on the 14th floor of Treasury building, seeing papers recommending 50 million, ningesema tuna pesa, we don't have, this is not a priority, must we put a bridge? This bridge has always not been there. But when I saw elderly people over 60, 70, shedding tears of joy because a bridge is going to be constructed over River Tana to help their children not to continue dying. That to me is the change that I think we need in this country. I didn't want, so now let me, in this issue of chopper, because I've been asked this question many times, because someone decided to put it that Mbadi is using. By the way, even before, I was using chopper once in a while, but I think because I was not a CS, nobody bothered. Now, you go, and then someone was saying, I go to my home using a chopper. If I go to Kakamega, there is a program which we call FLOCA. FLOCA program is financing locally led climate financing. It is in all counties, including Mombasa will come together with my brother here. We are supporting counties, they are putting money, we are also putting money. In Kakamega, the audit queries which were threatening the very survival of that program. And we are getting billions of shillings from various donors, including German, Denmark. They are giving us their billions. And you know how sensitive donors are. There was an audit query. I was also going to Kisumu the same day. The FLOCA program has a budget for oversight. They support my reaching Kakamega using a chopper. They could have fueled my car as well. But how many hours would it have taken me to go to Kakamega? We went and corrected that mess and we reopened the account of Kakamega County. And I came back to Kisumu over the same FLOCA. Then I was going to my home. So did you want the chopper to leave me on the Tarmac Road in Kisumu to walk to my home? If the chopper is coming to Nairobi, it had to drop me at home in the village and then come back to Nairobi so that I can greet also my people in the village. Is that the mistake that I made? If someone wants to calculate, then can calculate between Kisumu and my home how much it would have cost out of the cost, then I pay. But if anything, the chopper was coming to Nairobi, so there was no any extra expense. I think I've answered that question of chopper. On the issue of contributing to Harambes, this one, please allow me, this is an individual decision. If the president has decided to contribute to churches, why do I have to respond to that? You know whose money, you ask him. Because I have not seen any voucher. I have not seen any voucher asking me for approval of money to go and give to the church. Then I would immediately mark on that paper that we don't have a vote for supporting church events. But if this has not come to my, with a voucher, a file for me to either approve or disapprove, now you bring me to Mombasa, I come to Mombasa to engage you on the budget, then you ask me how, the following day you will ask me why the president is wearing a tie and how he bought the tie. Honestly, you guys, let us talk about it like this, that if there is any extravagance by government officials, then we stop it. Is that not so? But asking me specific question, Mbadi, using a chopper, that, yes. By the way, using a chopper, I think you can question me. But my contribution to church, wachana na mimi hiyo ni kati yangu na Mungu. Ukipata nimetoa pesa ya serikali, basi uniulize. Because there is no provision in our laws to remove government money and give to churches. And by the way, the president has never asked me to give money for his church events. If he asked me, I will tell him, Your Excellency, with all due respect, disapproved. Not that because church functions are not important. They are important, but they are not in the budget, isn't it? So ninge disapprove. But because he has not sought my approval, how do I get involved there? My tax, my voice, Odhiambo, why is your tax not working? Your tax is not working probably because you have not been engaged appropriately. I thought you would go ahead and tell me how you want your tax now to work. Unfortunately, Odhiambo, you left me hanging. You only asked me, why is my tax not working? You would have told me, CS, my tax has not been working. I want my tax to work X, Y, Z. This is how I want it. Don't go outside that. What I want you to do, put money for my education. Put money to give me water. I need a road. Remove this. I've been seeing you putting money in this budget line, tower. Hiyo ndiye ilinileta. But thank you. I have taken out of what you have said. There is a point I've picked. That there is a Kenyan in Mombasa called Odhiambo who feels his tax is not working. So when I get back home, I'm going to ask myself, why do you think Odhiambo feels that his tax is not working? And if I get the answer now, don't blame me if I diagnose your disease poorly or wrongly. But I'm going to try to diagnose and find out why you feel your tax is not working. Vivian, you have talked about transparency and accountability and how to channel more resources to areas that touch on youth. Now you have answered, Odhiambo. Now that is the good thing of having many people. Vivian, and you spoke immediately after him. I think you also saw a gap and you took advantage. Now you have advised me. Honestly, it is no, by the way, I'm not making a fun. That is the truth. She is telling me to redirect resources to areas that would create jobs to the youth and would target youth. Is that not so? And enhance transparency. Transparency, keyword. What are the long-term strategies being developed that we are coming up with to support development? If we can be faithful, one, to Vision 2030, which I want to try very much, that our budget is aligned to the MTP4, media of 2030, and be faithful to the agenda that we start of having agriculture support manufacturing, by making sure that those crops which have long been forgotten, like coffee, we increase the production of coffee from 50,000 to 150,000 metric tons per year, and do value addition before we take our coffee, which I'm told is one of the best in the world. Better than Uganda, which is of a poor quality, lower, lesser. No, let me not say poor, lesser quality. Robusta is lesser quality than Arabica, isn't it? Yes, that is what I hear. I'm not an expert in coffee. So those are the things that we must remember. By the way, that's just a simple investment. Governor, let me tell these people, do you know, by injecting money, and we released 1 billion to KCC the other day, KCC has increased uptake of milk from 100,000 liters per day to now 200,000 liters per day. Promoting farmers. That is now a good use of resources, where you can see marginal productivity, increase in marginal productivity. Not where we throw money and we don't even see what we are getting out of it. I was asking when we were taking Eurobond to sweep or clean Kibera. Much as making Kibera clean is very important, but the question is, why do you go to the, how many of you here would go to the bank, borrow money to go and clean, kufieka their homes, just to cut grass? Because how will you pay back the loan? We must put our money where there is value addition. Standardizing prices of commodities. You asked me, Ogola, you asked me a question about why kibiriti hapa 50 bob, kibiriti hapa 100, 10 bob, 55 bob. What I can do is to make sure that we don't have counterfeit products. Because I doubt whether if this kibiriti, they are manufactured using the same cost of production, that there would be such kind of difference in pricing. There must be counterfeit. There must be illegal smuggling of goods in the country. That is the work of KRA, customs, and everybody else. So that is what we need to stop. Because we are not going to tell the shopkeeper, please don't sell at 5 shillings. Because Kenya is a liberalized economy. Market forces. So we can't do that. The only thing you can do is to check if you are getting substandard goods coming into the country. Mama, I just wrote your name as Mama. You really spoke. And she said she loves me. Ameenda. Mama hangeenda bila mimi kujua jina lake. She's called? Nitanoti hiyo jina, ni jina tamu sana. Nikirudi nitamtafuta. She has told me to make changes without fear. By the way, siogopi. Kukuja hapa sikuomba ruhusa. And by the way, I told the president when he gave me this assignment that you did not pick a conman. You did not appoint a conman. And by the way, up to now, and I know so many people don't believe this, I have a free space to work at the Treasury. Many people don't believe it. I have my freedom to work. If I didn't have it, I would leave. Sijakosa options. By the way, nikirudi constituency nitashinda tu nikuwe mbunge tena. Those who are coming from my place, they know. Sindio? Yeah, so I am here to work for Kenyans. I may not be the best, I may not achieve the highest, but wacha nijaribu kulingana na uwezo wangu. Nikishindwa, mtajua hapa Mbadi ameshindwa tu, but not for lack of trial. I will put my effort because someone must do this thing. Things are terrible. Let me tell you, the first few months I was in that office, I lost weight. And you also, hata mukaanza kuni-enjoy kwa social media. Sasa, what did you expect? If I bought those clothes when I was a little bigger and I've reduced weight, so where do you want me to get the other weight, the other body ni put on the clothes? But things, we have not lost it completely. Again, there is this Kenya National Fish Cooperative. This one I'll take up with my colleague Goparanya. Angalia ni shida iko wapi. Qualified engineers, but we are not importing from outside. I think we must start believing in ourselves as a country. I think that is where the problem is. You find Kenya, we import everything, and anything imported is celebrated, whether human beings or even clothes. I'm not talking about marriage. I'm just talking about when you see someone, even with a ruler, someone who has even been freed from prison in his country, has come here with a ruler, ati huyo ni engineer kali. Mtu ambaye hata hajasoma where he is, he was just a casual laborer in road construction. Engineer, but we don't respect our engineers even with PhDs. So I think I agree with you that we need to do something about believing in ourselves. David Odhiambo, you asked many questions. Why do you pay capitation, pay salaries, and still people pay school fees? I think the cost of education, cost of our services needs to be looked into. I told you, but we are also paying for even children who don't exist. We have already commissioned one, governance diagnostic of the country. Two, we are also doing audits of government MDS so that we check where we are wasting resources. In capitation, we are paying even for children probably who are not even there in schools. E-citizen, the reason why you also pay money for e-citizen after it has been installed is, you know, there is what we call service fee. That system also must be maintained. You can question the amount being paid, but there must be something to maintain a system. There is no system unless we put budgetary provision every year to maintain and support the system. But if the system has to remain functioning, there must be some fee. Again, the issue of President paying 20 million has come again. I want to now not leave it. I don't want to talk about it. I've already addressed it. How do we ensure the better use of our current debts? By ensuring that there is no corruption. I know kuna a bit of excitement. Mama merudi? Hiyo ndiyo sababu. Yes, I know our Muslim brothers and sisters want to break the fast, isn't it? So can I move quickly, maybe in the next 2 minutes, Malise hizi swali zimebaki. Hizi maswali zimebaki. Now, control of budgets that we are paying outside the system. I think there was a report to that effect touching on the Treasury. And allow me to respond to it in 30 seconds. Here, I think that report either was not understood or the controller of budget should have brought it out better. She said that we paid debts outside the system. First of all, let me explain to you this. Up to last year, July, all debts were paid manual. We started automating debt payment from July. We are still in the process. Some we have already onboarded, some we have not onboarded. How does someone again now condemn you for now moving to the best place from a bad one? You have already automated X. You are remaining with Y. Then someone is telling you have not automated Y. We are in the process of automating everything. Previously it was zero. We are now here. And it had to take time because the system as was crafted had categorized expenditures in terms of recurrent and development. Debt is neither recurrent, neither development. So we had to reconfigure the system. That is the process we are moving to. So when I saw it, it is like we just decided to pay outside there. And by the way, even if it is manually prepared, it goes through central bank and must be approved by controller of budget. That is why she saw it. And must now be transferred electronically. So there is nothing like outside the system. Since I went to Treasury, even me, I have not even been paid 1 shilling without the money going to the bank. There is no cash payment. So nikasikia someone who has even been deputy president of this country saying ati pesa inalipwa sijui na good. You know, no wonder some people can't succeed. Let me leave that. Let me not get into politics. Raphael, industry and digital technology. I think this was largely advice on where we need to put emphasis on to generate more employment and job opportunities. You said the country is burning. Raphael, the country is burning, why? The country is burning because someone was removed from deputy president or what? Hakuna pesa mashinani, why? Because some people took loan which we are paying, because some people didn't pay suppliers from all the years. Now what we are doing, you know, I'm not the one who takes people to court. The only thing I can do is to make sure that people who have not been paid all the way, some dating back to 10 years, that we provide money to pay them because they are innocent. They are not the ones who put us into this economic situation. We must pay these Kenyans, and that is why we have received preliminary data to pay contractors and suppliers. Youth with disability, that is advice that we should also integrate them in our budgeting. Jared Clinton, fiscal stability versus political expediency. Again, you came back to charge donation. You want, no, please don't ask the president to donate to youth. Ask the president and the government and John Mbadi to create jobs for the youths. Not donate. We can't donate to you forever. Yeah. I think the best is to get how do we create job opportunities for our children and our grandchildren. The last. Hey, but again you answered yourself because you came here and said taxes. That you cannot get taxes without creating job opportunities. True. There is no way we will get taxes if people are not employed. We must create those job opportunities. That is why we are engaging here. Today, I will also engage the people in Garissa. We must look for ways, where do we put these limited resources that we have to create job opportunities for our youth and for the future generation. Sawa sawa. I want to end there and return the mic. Hey, just shout it out. Another one I will answer you straight away. Is that the only one, or you have another one? I think now what we'll do. No, our brothers and sisters want to break the fast. Please, please, please. I want to respect our Muslim brothers and sisters. On the issue of university funding and even help, by the way, Treasury has released over 60% of the money. I wish I came with the figures. I will follow up with the ministry and just of education, the line ministry, why there are challenges. On your issue of the system, maybe before I leave, I may need to get your contact. I will invite some students, a group of students. You tell me what exactly is the problem so that we can see how to solve it. So please make sure, my friend, get that gentleman's number. Then we will get back to you by Tuesday. I will make sure you come, maybe with the 2 other students or 3, tukae chini tusikie ni shida iko wapi. Can I now leave it to my sister? Can I leave it to you? You decide what to do?
Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Asanteni sana. Sasa kila mtu amenyosha mkono. Naomba mkumbuke kwamba ndugu zetu pia Waislamu tumefunga. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for showing up today and having this very fruitful and engaging conversation with our Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury and Economic Planning, Honorable John Mbadi. Thank you very much, Waziri, for being here. I think it's been very interesting to see that vijana wetu bado wako na maswali kuhusu budget. And I think this is a very good point that we're able to take in continuously engaging. Tukiweza kuendelea, kabla tumkaribishe gavana wetu wa Mombasa, ningependa acknowledge a few of our leaders who are also in the room with us today. We have a team from Central Pastors CBO, ambayo imeongozwa na Reverend James Ngugi. We have the Regional Youth Coordinator, Charles Ayako, who is always present every single time we have a conversation about the young people. We have members of the County Executive Committee from the County Government of Mombasa. We have CCM Dan Manyala, Kenneth Mbadi, Waziri Dan. Thank you. Waziri Mbadi, Waziri Mohamed Osman, Waziri Emily, who is also a young person, and Waziri Dr. Mbwarali. Thank you very much. I would also like to acknowledge a few members of the County Assembly present in the room. Hamisi Nyota, Bomoa, Leila, MCA Leila, thank you very much, na MCA Letarazi. Asanteni sana. And Mwaka. And not forgetting our Chief of Staff of the County Government of Mombasa, Dr. Noah. Na wengi ambao mumekuja leo kuwakilisha na kuweza kuwa na this conversation of the National Youth Dialogue on the budget process. Ningependa musimame ili munyoshe mikono kwa waziri wetu kwa sababu singeweza kuwatambua nyote. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And now I would like to welcome His Excellency Abdulsamad Sharif Nasser, the Governor, County Government of Mombasa.
Haya. Amjambo. Assalamu alaikum. God is good and all the time. Now, Mbadi, I want to remind you, hawa jamaa unajua hawajui pali tumetoka mimi na wewe. Mbadi tulikuwa na yeye katika bunge. Wakati mimi na Mbadi tuko bunge lililopita, mara ya kwanza nilikuwa backbencher. Nilikuwa noisemaker kweli. Nyinyi mkiona kwa hapa kuna watu noisemaker, mimi I was the worst. Manake mimi nilikuwa upande wa opposition. Sasa nilikuwa ni first timer, nikifika pale kazi yangu mimi nikiona Mbadi anafanya hivi na mimi nafanya. Akipiga meza na mimi napiga meza na mikono miwili namna hii. Then we matured. And in the process of maturing, my party found it fit for me to be able to chair one of the most prestigious and powerful committees in the whole of Parliament. And I was the chair of the Public Investment Committee, campaign manager wangu mwingine alikuwa ni Mbadi. Ndo alikuwa anazunguka kuhakikisha, and at that time it was one of the toughest elections. Kwa sababu kulikuwa kuna mvutano mkali baina yetu na upande wa Uhuru, kulikuwa hakuna mambo ya handshake. So they said huyu jamaa akiwa ndo chair wa PIC, hapa kutakuwa na matatizo kweli kweli. And we had it our way, na Mwenyezi Mungu akatujalia. Mwenyezi Mungu alitujalia, whatever it is we did in parliament. Leo mimi ni gavana wa hawa waungwana walioko hapa, and I couldn't have asked for a better job. Mbadi, tochi likumulika ile kazi ulikuwa umefanya katika park, na being the leader of parliament, you are where you are. But I can confirm one thing as well. I don't envy your job. Naomba fadhali, kama kuna yoyote mmoja wenu hapa atajaliwa kuwa rais wa Kenya, musinipatie kazi ya CS wa Treasury. Kama mambo ni haya, tafadhalini, because you never know. I'm confident that amongst those who are here, there's someone who's going to pop up and become something. Mmoja wenu atakuja kuwa, and we can be, you know, we can reach in many levels. But I can confirm what I have learned by sitting. We boil down to 3 things. 1, people know what needs to be known. 2, there are those who don't know. But 3, there's also those who think they know, but actually they don't know. And the fact that you took the courage, you're the first CS. I don't know whether this has been done elsewhere, or I know you've done this in other parts of Kenya, but I don't know whether in any other administration, whether CS for Treasury has had the opportunity to sit down, talk to people one-on-one, have a smile with them where a smile is needed, and be tough when tough needed to be done. So you've done well. I think department ya Treasury, kama wako na watu wa communication, they need ile mshahara yao ije kwako pia, kwa sababu you are doing a better job than them in the communication department. Now I want to state one thing. In this country, there's enough for everyone's needs, but there's not enough for everyone's greed. Let me repeat myself. There's enough for everyone's needs, but not enough for everyone's greed. I believe that what is out there is truly enough to be able to cater. We might not be able to turn the leaf overnight. That is an impossibility. But I strongly believe that if we can be able to take a step, that step will eventually be a leap will eventually be a run will eventually be a sprint, and we will have reached far by doing the little things that we are doing now. Collectively, we'll be able to do more. Are there challenges that this country faces? By all means, there are challenges. Coincidentally, and as I was seated there, I was saying to myself, I'm glad that the shoes John Mbadi is wearing are not shoes that would have stated opulence, or probably his watch or something. He's looking at his shoes. Because this whole conversation would have actually changed, and it would have been a conversation on what Mbadi actually wore when he was talking to the youth in Mombasa. Coincidentally, I've just come as my capacity, my party constitutional obligation. I have just come. I think that is the CS for Blue Economy. Am I right? I think that is the CS for Blue Economy. Karibu sana. Waziri, takuachia nafasi uweze kuwasalimia kisha waungwana, nikiwa na nitakukaribisha uweze kuwasalimia. Lakini nilikuwa nawaelezea katika mambo ambayo kwamba mumeyazungumza nyinyi hapa leo. Please hear me out very carefully, because I know the life that I've lived being in public office. I know how easy it is for words to be able to be changed. Mimi nimetoka hapa leo, my party ODM has decided to be able to come up with a solution by seeing on a 10-point agenda how we can be able to work together for the benefit of the people. Amongst the issues that we signed and we appended our signature on are the issues that you're talking about. One, where we're going to be able to ensure that there's going to be employment for our young people. That is what we appended our signature on today. Two, how are we going to be able to ensure that we build and we do not claw back on devolution? That is what we appended our signature on today. Three, every single person here has talked about public wastage, has talked about corruption. That is one of the pointers that we appended our signature on. I had someone shouting pale nyuma anasema ya kuwa pesa hakuna mashinani. That is one of the things that we actually appended our signature on today. And I want to assure you, it takes time to build, but it is very, very easy to be able to destroy. So give an opportunity. The remaining time, I'm seeing one thing is coming out clear as well. And I don't blame the young people. I truly do not blame the young people. People have lost faith in public offices. And I don't blame you, by the way. If I was you, I'd actually lose faith myself. I truly don't blame you. But we need to ask ourselves, that's the reason why we're called leaders. We need to ask ourselves, it's very easy, by the way, for me to stand here and say I'm denying everything and become a radical and talk all sorts of things. And I'll be able to get my 5-minute fame. A lot of you will put me on your WhatsApp statuses and you'll post me on TikTok and everything else. But that does not mean that what I speak and what I do will be able to ensure that you get jobs. I can only be able to get you jobs by ensuring that there's stability, and that stability will be able to bring industries in our county. That stability will be able to bring in investors in our county. That stability will be able to bring in tourism in our county. That stability will now be able to give me an equal opportunity as the governor of Mombasa to have a sit-in without emotions and tell the president of this country that I feel that some of the places where we're wasting out is resources need to go to the devolved units and not go to the state corporations. And Waziri, I want your support on this as well. The most recent one, nimeona KEFIS, something that has already been devolved to the county governments. KEFIS wanataka kuanza kucharge meli inspection on health and all. What is the purpose of the county governments if that is going to happen? Something that has not only been devolved constitutionally, but even IGTRC recently ensured that we totally separate, and the role of KEFIS is to come up with policies. The county governments are meant to be the implementers. So this is the conversation that we need to have. And I'm looking forward, I'm truly looking forward to seeing the faces that are here 12 months from today, or probably even less than 12 months from today, telling us that truly we made the right decision, we were brave enough, we were bold enough to say that let us put emotions aside and put this country ahead where it needs to be. And I'm confident that we'll be able to take it further. Waziri, I know it's time for Adhan, and I know you, knowing you on a personal level, mambo yote unaweza kucheza nao, lakini saumu huwezi kucheza nayo. Sije ukaja shida baadaye ukanikanyagia mambo yangu ya blue economy, kwa sababu nilikufanya uwe na saumu kali kwa unyenyekevu. Hawa watu ulinirithisha wewe. njoo karibu uweze kuwasalimia. Na as the CS is going to speak, I also want to recognize my brother that we also served with in Parliament, Ndugu Faisal, and the Speaker of the County Assembly of Mombasa, my brother Harub as well. Thank you very much.
Gavana, wewe ni mwerevu sana, sababu kama ungechelewesha sifungue mwadhini tungepambana baadaye. But rafiki yangu na ndugu yangu waziri wa mambo ya fedha na uchumi, Governor Abdul Swamad, Mheshimiwa Faisal Badar, and the plans the government has going forward. Vile vile nikamsikia Kansela Kim Limona alipost jana. Abdulsamad, ulimwona Kim alipost, twamngoja huyo Mbadi, makansela wa zamani. Sasa nilifikiri utakuja na noma, kumbe untulia tu hapa. Waziri, nilimwona akaenda gym Saturday, akiinua chuma kikubwa, alafu akasema pale kwa post, na mgoja Mbadi. Sasa mimi nimekuja hapa kumwangalia, sija kaleta noma, kumbe ntulia. Hiyo fujo alikuwa nao kwa mtandao, nilikuwa najua leo ni kubaya, lakini ni sawa tu. Lakini ule ujumbe wangu mmoja ambaye nataka kuacha, na tukubaliane tu, tukubaliane. Haya mambo ambaye mimi waziri, nimekuja hapa today is the third time tangu nikuwe waziri kwa this hapa. Wewe umekuja probably the first time and many others. Tukubaliane tu, wale waliokuwa zamani walikuwa wakifanya hivi, walikuwa wakija akiwasikiza. Did they used to interact with you? Si ndio? So tukubali kwamba mambo yanabadilika. We are coming to the ground and we are listening. Today nimeanza mimi saa 1 asubuhi, nilikuwa naelekea Kwale. I went and engaged the fisher folk and the BMUs in Kwale. Nikapatia hao mradi 255 million, nikapatia watu wa Kwale. Leo nikitoka hapo nikawa na viongozi wa mawaziri wake wawili and CECs from the entire region engaging on how we can turn around the blue economy, particularly in the coastal region and in the lake region. Kule Lake Victoria, Lake Turkana, Lake Nakuru and the coastal region. Tuko hapa kuwafanyia nini? Job. And I want to assure you, sisi si wale. Sisi sio wale. Tukisema tutafanya job, tunafanya nini? Job. And I heard, when I was walking in, I heard Abdul Swamad saying that he doesn't envy CS here. Anasema kwamba ati sijui mtu akiwa president hapa musimpatie kazi ya treasury. Silikuwa ukisema? When I was walking in, I heard you. Hiyo najua wazi ikija kazi ya job utaichukua tu, lakini ikitokea wezi wacha. Lakini imagine how busy the CS for Treasury may be, but he's here with us today. He's here talking to us. You may not necessarily get all your answers. You may not get your answers. But do you agree with me that it's a good beginning? Sindio? Kwamba badala kuumia na jambo, afadhali uje useme likutoke. Si namna hiyo? So I am encouraged that as much as there are challenges are there. Siwezi kusimama hapa niseme hakuna challenges. Challenges zipo. But for as long as there is the willingness and the commitment to be able to face them and solve them, then we may be on the right trajectory. Tumeelewana? So mimi nawaambia mimi mwenyewe mimi ni mtu ya kusikiza maneno sana and encourage you. I'm sure hapa, who was the master of ceremony? You are the one. I am sure when Mbadi finished, there may be many hands bad as you. Ilikuwa hivyo? Ndio hivyo. So what you need to do is to ask Mbadi, please find time and come back again. Sindio? So CS, nakuomba tu siku nyingine rudia watu wa Mombasa. These are very wonderful people. Mimi bana hawa wamenibeba hapa. Nilikuwa nagonga kura mingi. Wapinzani wangu walikuwa nawaosha kweli kweli. Wakija na and really it's the goodwill. It is the goodwill of the people of Mombasa. They are wonderful people. They are wonderful people. They need to understand the issues. We need to engage them. And mimi I'm willing. Mimi sichoki. Mimi nilipumzika from 2022 for 2 years. Sasa niko na energy mbaya ndugu yangu. Niko na energy ile mbaya haijawahi kuwa. Ukiniita saa 1 nitakuja. Saa 2 nitakuja. Saa 3, saa 5 nitakuja. Na ukileta noma hapa ndio headquarter. Ukileta noma hapa ndio nini? Waziri, ukinisikia kule Nairobi nimesimama alafu nasema kama noma kama mbaya ujue si mimi, ni hao ndio nifundisha. Kwanza huyu MC huyu ndio nifundisha. I'm just kidding. Usikufanye ukachochwa bure. But let me just say that I'm grateful that we have chosen the country. Nchi yetu is as important for us. Hakuna kitu zaidi kushinda nchi yetu. And I am in support of the decision and the call ya Raila Amolo Odinga that let us engage collectively, responsibly for the interest of the country. Mimi wajua I solved so many issues. CS. Today there was an issue for the MP from Sambweni here, who came to me, told me the issues, I solved them. I just came from Kisauni. Bezimba amenambia ana issue ya shamba sijui pale Junda. I am solving it. But you know why? I'm in the inside. Niko ndani, ningekuwa nje ningemsaidia vipi huyu mimi? Ningemwambia pole bro, sijali, pole bro. Ningemwambia pole, wewe tulia bana. Ningemwambia pole bro, sijali, utakuwa sawa. Na sitaki kuendelea hapa kwa sababu najua mwadhini uko karibu, sivyo? Niseme mimi mwenyewe nitarudi hapa. We engage you on matters blue economy, matters mining, matters shipping and matters maritime affairs. Na governor usijali, hiyo umesema kefi kama nini? Kefis ni ya kwangu? Si ni mimi ndio waziri hapo? Sasa wasumbuka nini wewe? Vipi huyu? Governor waharibu. Wewe unafaa uniambie tu mimi, oye vipi bro? Na mambo yana hii? Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much once again. Can we have one group photo? Please stand wherever you are. We can have Waziri Mbadi. We can have Waziri Mbadi standing over here. Everyone stand wherever you are. They'll take with the audience as well.
We bring the flags by this side.
No, they're facing Evie so that they take the crowd. Kila mtu